Up until now, Blue Archive has been pretty good. It has heart. It sure likes to wear its heart on its sleeves. And that's great. In this modern day and age, when it's cool to be cynical and ironic, Blue Archive is a fresh air, quintessential cute girls doing cute things. But this is where Blue Archive goes from pretty good to great. Amazing even. And even this late into the video, I'm going to give another spoiler warning. Please go read / play Blue Archive for yourself. It is good. Really, really good. Life-changingly good even. Especially everything past the 2 previous chapters. With that said, everyone else, let me ask you a question. Can we prove that anyone has ever reached paradise? If paradise exists, then the one to reach it will remain there for eternity, forever enveloped in joy and satisfaction. If someone does leave paradise, it's because they weren't fully satisfied. So it was never paradise for them. Therefore, those who reach paradise cannot be found, and should not exist outside of paradise. So can you prove the truth of someone who does not exist? You may find the story that's about to unfold to be unpalatable. It is a story meant to make you uncomfortable, uneasy, and leave you unhappy. A cynical story that will make you doubt people and truth. Gloomy, sad, painful, and ultimately bitter. But entirely truthful. I ask that you not look away and see it through to the end, for that is your responsibility. Eden, the name of paradise God created for Adam and Eve, the first humans to live in harmony with nature for all eternity, only for human folly to be banished from it. It is also the namesake of the treaty promising peace between the 2 rival schools, Trinity and Gehenna. Trinity being the uppity rich school full of angels, princesses, and nuns. Delinquents kinda hate the students from Trinity, thinking they're all constantly looking down on them and hiding secrets. And Gehenna is a school of war criminals and psychos. So it's pretty easy to figure out why they don't get along and haven't gotten along, and what I'm pretty sure is their entire existence being schools. Several conflicts have broken out between the 2 in the past. And the idea is that through the Eden Treaty, through the moderation of the GSC, and their president will not only be able to find peace, but will also be able to unite their militaries for common goals and greater threats. Just one small problem. The General Student Council is fucking missing. So everything about the treaty is pretty much up to air at the moment. But that shit, not our problem. All that complicated politicking is not for us. We're a teacher who hasn't really done any teaching, which is why we are summoned by 2 of the heads of the Tea Party, the group that controls Trinity. The refined, ladylike Nagisa, and her best friend, the adorable ball of energy and joy, Mika, the so-called Princess of Trinity. It's pretty impressive in a school full of princesses to be the princesses of all the princesses. I will now never say princess ever again in my life. That was really hard. Okay! But you may be wondering, alright, if the school's called Trinity, then why are there only 2 leaders? Well, the third, Seiya, she's been sick for quite some time now. So no one can go see her. There's a particular problem. Some of the students are falling behind and are at risk of expulsion. So the Tea Party tasks us with tutoring the failing students in the Makeup Work Club and make sure they don't all fail out. The Makeup Work Club consists of a few problem children in Trinity. Hanako, a fucking degenerate pervert who constantly struts around the school naked. Azusa, a terrorist who just got into huge trouble having an armed firefight with the school's Justice Task Force. Koharu, a junior member of the same Justice Task Force who just fucking hates everything. She's here because, she's fucking stupid. And Hifumi, oh hi Hifumi! Hi! She's here because she's a hardened fucking criminal. I mean, she's just kind of here to keep an eye on things. The task, like most things in Blue Archive, is very simple. The girls just have to pass one of 3 makeup tests. And if they can pass this, they've already fucking failed. Hanako got a 2, a fucking 2. Bitch just put her fucking name down. Well, summer school time. But something's not right. You see, I failed to mention something. Left a little part of all of this out. Well, just a little lie, a little goof, a little guffaw. Not only if only one girl fails all 3 tests, do they all get expelled. But the Makeup Work Club is designed specifically to expel students. For no other reason than because one of the students in the Makeup Work Club is a traitor to Trinity as a whole. Someone whose desire is to prevent the signing of the Eden Trinity. Yeah, I lied again. All the politicking I mentioned earlier 100% has to do with us. And Nagisa is already losing it to paranoia, threatening us, Sensei, that there's many, many ways to make them all fail if we don't suss out the traitor like she wants. We tell her we'll go figure something out. Something that's nowhere near as drastic as whatever the fuck she wants. Leaving to go with the Makeup Work Club to the summer school like boot camp. Turns out the building and the premise as a whole is old as dirt and hasn't been used in quite a while. So the group figures it's a good idea to clean up the whole place. We're gonna be here for a while after all, might as well make it a home for the time being. Besides, it's a good bonding exercise. Before this point, Blue Archive has had a lot of slice of life events that feel like they come straight out of a school anime. But this arc in particular is the most slice of life Blue Archive gets. It's a lot of cute girls doing school things. It's actually a positive, as the characters in Blue Archive are, of course, almost always entertaining and endearing. Seeing the cast bounce off one another in antics such as Hanako wearing what may or may not be just bra and panties and saying it's a bathing suit in order to clean the pool, or Hifumi and Azuna bonding over a duck plush, or Hanako teasing Koharu about having a lewd dojin in her school bag, the group trying to study in the dark in their swimsuits because it stormed and all their clothes got wet, or learning that Azusa knows a lot about making bombs and traps and always keeps her gun on her at all times, and is trained to go multiple days without sleeping and mysteriously leaves the camp at night. Wait, what? The days go on by like normal. A routine of antics start to form and a new sense of normalcy takes place. But weird things keep popping up. Turns out, some of the girls are hiding things. Koharu admits that she's a spy for the Justice Task Force. Azusa seems to have known Seiya, the 3rd member of the Tea Party who's been out sick for quite some time now. And Hanako especially seems to know a lot more than she's letting on. Suddenly, this cast of problem students that once seemed impossible to be the school's traitor, they suddenly have become a lot more suspicious. Oh hey Miko, what's up? Azusa is the traitor. She's a transfer student from the Auris Satellite School, a group that split away from Trinity a long time ago, when Trinity was just several minor warring factions and 3 big factions, hence Trinity, that all hated each other as much as Trinity and Gehenna do now, but Auris split away from Trinity due to a difference in interpretation of scripture. Trinity has suppressed Auris in several ways, and Auris has been hiding in the shadows, waiting for the revenge and destruction of both Gehenna and Trinity in violent hellfire. Mika wanted to transfer Azusa to Trinity in order to open back up relations between the 2 schools. Doing so in secret, actually, as both Seiya and Nagisa very much so opposed any sort of rekindling between the 2 schools. And Mika Mika is completely against the Eden Treaty for reasons, stating that power that immense can be used to silence any and all dissenters, just as Trinity did a long time ago. Or just like Seiya. Oops! Seiya's fine. Don't look into it. She's fine. She's sick. She's very sick. Yes, Seiya, the leader of one of the big three Trinity factions and a member of the Tea Party as a whole, Seiya's dead. Yeah, all that politics I brought up at the start and said don't worry about it. Then I said, yeah, worry about it. Yeah, we are caught up right in the middle of a three-way, multi-generational spat in grand political conspiracy. Oopsies. But Mika, despite telling us that Azusa is the traitor Nagisa's been looking for, asks us to protect her. After the very sudden bomb drop from the pink thing, things go back to normal, more or less. Mostly just Hanako harassing everyone while she wears a swimsuit and blowing up a nun. More importantly, though, on a midnight outing, the girls run into the legendary and infamous Gourmet Research Society and the introduction of Best Girl Haruna. Oh! You see, the Gourmet Research Society is on a mission to eat good food and destroy shitty restaurants. Haruna is a woman of grace and elegance, destructive rage, and an autistic fascination with food. She really likes kidnapping a lunch lady housewife, stealing cars, and blowing shit up. She's perfect. She's like Aru. She's like Aru, a Saturday morning cartoon villain who shows up randomly and steals the show. Wait, what was I talking about? All right, we were studying. The girls on their third mock exam are finally able to score a passing grade. Suddenly, the plot comes swinging back in when Nagisa summons Sensei and goes, "I have been expecting you." She's, not so happy we talk to Mika. But Sensei does and has an ability that no other anime or gacha or JRPG protagonist has. He has a spine and a backbone. And while we saw some of it earlier on, Sensei starts to really come in of its own. Starts being fleshed out and has a character and personality. Standing up to Nagisa, calling her paranoid and cynical, refusing to play this bullshit politicking back and forth, and simply instead wants to help students. Nagisa ominously takes this as a challenge. And she immediately starts making sudden changes to the second exam, making it harder to pass and even relocating the testing site to the middle of nowhere Gehenna. And also setting the time to 3 AM. They would have to leave immediately in order to even try to get there on time. Those in charge start playing dirty. The Makeup Work Club will be expelled, no matter what, it seems. With no other choice, we/Sensei leads the charge and makes sure that these kids pass. Which is a lot easier said than done. Gehenna makes Detroit look safe. They almost immediately get harassed by delinquent girls that try to kidnap them. Fucking chaos ensues, and it takes the Gourmet Club to show up out of nowhere in a stolen car. Stolen from Fuka, of course. And then one Terminator 2 reference later, all of this just for the Hot Springs department to demolish the building, making the Makeup Work Club fall by default. Everyone's a little upset with the whole situation. Their whole hard work has just been tossed down the drain because of the paranoia of powers that be. Regardless, they have no other choice but to try again. The night before, Azuha sneaks out again, Hanaka following behind. A shadowy figure, known as Sayori, instructs Azusa that tomorrow she's to destroy the Halo of Nagisa. But how could she possibly do such a thing? Despite all of Nagisa's schemings, it would mean betraying the trust and possibly destroying the lives of her newfound friends as they know it. So, she confesses to everything. To being the traitor, to Iris manipulating Mika, to Iris plotting to destroy Trinity. But Azusa has no intention of hurting Nagisa. Tomorrow, our students will march on Trinity and siege the school and attempt to kill Nagisa. The only hope for a defense in this battle is that, in her paranoia, Nagisa has already placed the entire school under martial law. And, of course, us. Hanako brings up at a point that all this chaos and scheming, that Azuha, who's at the center of it all, doesn't have to be simply. She could have just left weeks ago, disappeared without a trace like any spy should. That she doesn't have to go through all this to make this last stand, double agent, desperate defense stuff. Because she's having fun with the makeup work club. Her new friends, studying together, eating together, even doing the laundry and cleaning together. She simply didn't want the fun times to end. So now she wants to defend it. In effort to understand Azuha a bit more, Hanako tells the story of someone she knew. Someone so talented and adept, everyone couldn't help but praise everything she did. She was offered seats at the tea party, a place in the sisterhood, but quickly grew cynical at the lying, prejudice, and hypocrisy found at Trinity. She felt stifled by it all, that none of this was her. Hanako can't help but praise Azuha, stating that that other girl tanked her exams on purpose so she could run away, while you dedicated yourself to the fullest. But why? Why try so hard? After all, Vanitas Vanitarum, vanity of vanities, everything is in vain. The very same motto of the Iris School, and something Azusa repeats often. There's undoubtedly some truth in those words. Why try to fight against the impossible odds? The complexity of world and life. There are hatreds and scheming much greater than us, than we could even possibly understand. Far older and grander in design. What can we even do? Vanitas veritatum indeed. Except even if everything is in vain, there's no reason we shouldn't give life our all. Life is fun, simply. No other reason needed to do what's right. So, let's go do exactly that, and protect Nagisa and pass that exam. And what better way to protect Nagisa than by gaslighting and kidnapping her? Wait, what? One gaslight later, and the students get ambushed almost single-handedly by Azusa. There's, well, you see, there's just a slight, teeny, tiny, itsy-bitsy little problem. You see, Azuha wasn't the traitor. She never was. Mika is the traitor. Okay! The secret mastermind of this all, it's an armed coup. And her motives for siding with the radical extremist school that wants to burn Trinity to the ground, betray her childhood friends, and cause chaos throughout the school? Well, she just really, really, really hates Gehenna. And the thought of signing a peace treaty with them makes her very skin crawl. Also, yeah, she lied to our face. The Eden Treaty was never some power grab military organization thing. No, it was actually just a peace treaty. But she did really actually want to reconcile with Iris and end probably hundreds of years of a blood feud. Just, you know, what better way to do that than to fucking burn Gehenna to the ground? The bubblegum girly princess really is a monster, huh? A witch. witch even. Even going so far as to killing Seiya. At least accidentally, but she just gave the order to kidnap Seiya. She didn't actually want to pull the trigger. No, that would have been Azusa. Man, we're fucked. We're really, truly fucked. Mika has all the cards, played everything almost perfectly, and now she's going as far to murder us. Except for the massive faction of nuns that don't listen to any governing body but their own, and through a little favors of Hanako is able to get their help in arresting the insane Mika and finally put all this complicated politics shit behind us. I thought we were here to help students take their test. What the fuck is happening? But Mika isn't such a mastermind after all. And Seiya isn't dead. She's safe in the hands of the Remedial Knight's nurse staff. With that bit of news, despite saying she'll stop at nothing, Mika surrenders, just like that. And before she's taken off into custody, we/Sensei, despite everything, will never turn his back on a student, no matter what they've done. So we tell Mika that, and we'll always be by her side if she ever needs us. Oh fuck! We have an exam to take! Oops! With no other bullshit aside, everything finally out of the way. No other dumb shit. All the girls are able to take their exam and pass. Easy. Wait, how long is this volume? The day of the Eden Treaty signing is here! It took a lot to get this far. Quelling the animosity between two warring factions isn't hard. It isn't easy to do. But now, everyone is watching. The news has live coverage of the whole event, and everyone is here. At least everyone important. Shell Sensei, Hina, Ako, Nagisa, Tsurugi, and the rest of the Justice Task Force team, the Sisterhood, and several other leaders and figureheads from both schools. The signing is taking place in the historic Cathedral of Communion. What better place to sign a peace treaty between angels and demons than a massive fucking cathedral? It's also a place that holds a lot of symbolic importance to Trinity, for it's the location of its first council. Meanwhile, the General Student Council still struggles to keep everything together, but don't worry about it. Unfortunately, our makeup work gang aren't attending the historic signing. Despite being the center of everything that happened previously, they're still just normal schoolgirls. So, like all the other normal students, they sit at a cafe and watch the news. Azusa is clinging onto her massive duck plushie, and Hifumi gets teased for liking cliche childish tropes like happy endings, the power of friendship shit, all of that anime. While everyone else likes mature, serious stories because they're grown-ups and shit like, whatever the fuck Hanako is talking about. What the fuck? Honestly, it's looking to be quite the perfect day. But hatred, real hatred, is not a thing so easily buried and forgotten with just a few papers. And such a televised event means that everyone is watching. Everyone. A missile screams through the sky. A blinding light, like God's wrath made manifest, slices the sky in twain, collapsing into the cathedral, shattering all the hopes and dreams of an Eden coming to pass, leaving only fire and ash. With everyone gathered into one place, and with the world's eyes focused on the signing of this very treaty, the missile blowing up the cathedral becomes hell on earth very quickly. War has come to Kibodos, and Trinity and Gehenna will burn! We only managed to survive thanks to Arona protecting us at the very last minute. But now she's exhausted and won't be able to protect us anymore. Our soldiers are moving in, and now strange monsters roam the fire and ruins. It is pure chaos. Many key figureheads are missing. Desperate pockets of defenses are trying to form out, but now the very dead rise up to aid the Aris soldiers. Aris has struck a deal with Gematria, the group hidden in the background, masterminding schemes to further their own goals, who have no problem trampling over students to get what they want. A figurative deal with the devil in order to use the spirits of the First Council for their war effort. The students are one thing. Kyoto students are hard to break. A whole magazine of 5.56 can be pumped into them and they'll be fine. But us? Sensei? That's kind of a different story. If we get shot once, that's it. It's game over. But it's not completely over just yet, because Hina's not down for the count. One of the most powerful, strongest students in all of Kivodos has that reputation for a reason, and she's currently going berserk against the Aris forces, and everyone's focus now is just to get us out of trouble. Everyone knows it to be true. We're a little fragile. Which Hina is able to do a pretty damn good job, considering a missile just blew her up and a whole ass cathedral fell on top of her. And we get pretty far. Until Jomei Sayori. Like a brick wall that Hina runs into, Sayori and the rest of the squad, the elite special unit of Iris, stands in our way. Misaki, Atsuko, and Hiyori. And well, I guess Azuha would have been here if not for, well, you know. Sayori keeps it simple. They're here to get their revenge against Trinity for the years of hatred, suppression, and conflict between the two. They've taken control of the Eden Treaty signing in place of Trinity, like they believe was their birthright since Trinity's founding. And now Gehenna and Trinity will both be erased from the face of the earth. And with that, Sayori points a gun at us and fires. And everything quickly falls apart. Gehenna and Trinity raise arms and start marching on each other, each side believing the other shot the missile. Artillery is fired, tanks soon line the streets. The main campus of Trinity is in a panic. Students start getting drafted and martial law is quickly declared. Miko watches the whole thing from the confines of her cell. Azuha says goodbye to Hifumi and leaves to go kill Sayori. She's even able to get the drop on her using the same plush she got from Hifumi as a bomb, which just leaves her crying in the rain. Trinity and Gehenna are on a knife's edge. Radical factions on both sides, both wanting open war. Hina is missing. Hanako gets arrested by radicals. Mika is released from prison by the very same radicals, but weirdly enough, Mika doesn't want any part of this. Refusing to take leadership of the faction, she acts as if all of this is just a silly game, which the radicals do not take well, and promptly beat the shit out of her. By the very same people who once supported her. Luckily, Koharu, of all people, is able to stop the violence before it gets any worse. It all seems lost. Possibly everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Turns out this was a nihilistic, gloomy story after all. One of those mature stories with no happy endings, where everything is vain and for naught, and full of tragic characters. All those fun times in the past seem long gone now. A fleeting moment, nothing more, as reality came crashing down. The carefree lives of kids and students seem almost irrelevant to the real world. Generational hatred, suffering, murder, abuse, and trauma, truly ugly and terrible things. Paradise, that dilemma we've been wondering since the start of this chapter, simply does not exist. But that's life, isn't it? The way of the world. Oh well. All's well as end well, I guess. But Sensei has a job to do. And there are students waiting for us. It's time to get to work. First things first, we're going to put a stop to the radicals beating Mika and threatening Kohara. Second and third, stopping Hanako's arrest and quelling the riots in Trinity. And just generally taking control of the situation. Fourth, make sure the wounded are A-okay. Fifth, find Hina and thank her. Not for saving us, but for everything. Helping us out against the Kaiser Corporation, saving Hoshino, saving our lives. And by being single-handedly being the person keeping Gehenna under control. And thanks for being someone we can trust wholeheartedly. But most importantly, telling her we're sorry. Sorry for not treating her like a normal student. And finally, we tell Hifumi everything's going to be alright. That Azuha will come home. With all that out of the way, with the chaos and despair dealt with, we need to confront the Iris Squad. Sayori, Iori, Atsuko, and Misaki. In the rain-drenched ruins of the cathedral, where the promise of Eden was so violently dashed, Hifumi finally reveals her true nature. She's not some ordinary girl who likes anime and duck plushies, but as Faust, with none other than, totally not the Eidos crew behind us, with none other than to save the day, the legendary and infamous masked swimsuit gang. When all hope seems lost, why not ask some of our first friends for a little help? Shiriko is still very, very serious about being a masked bank robber, though someone please stop her. She's gonna get fucking hurt. With Hina and the prefect team, the Justice Task Force, the Make-Up Work Club, the Sisterhood, and even the Abedo's closing task force, we have ours' infamous, once seemingly invincible squad surrounded.
あずさちゃんが人殺しになるのは嫌です。そんな憂鬱で不愉快な物語、後味の悪い物語は、もしそれが正しいとしても、この世界の真実だとしても、私は好きじゃありません。私は平凡なのが好きです。平凡で何の個性もない私ですが、私のこの好きな気持ちだけは誰にも譲るつもりはありません。友情で苦難を克服して努力がけなされなくて、幼稚であっても最後にみんなが笑えるような物語、最後はみんなが幸せになる物語、そんな平凡な物語が好きです。誰であろうと私たちに強要はできません。私たちが作っていく物語は私たちが決めます。ですから今から始めます。私たちの物語を、学園と青春の物語を。
unironically, through the power of friendship and trust, we are able to combat Ours' ways of hatred and nihilism. Sayuri tells us we are all living in a fantasy and to stop dreaming that this is all fucking stupid. Love, hope, fuck, erasing hatred and mistrust in the world is a dream. Nothing more than that. Her way is the way of the world works. But we are a teacher. Sensei is a teacher. And they're his students. It is a teacher's responsibility to help them achieve their dreams, as it is true for all adults with the next generation. With that, our squad is no match for us. Having been soundly defeated in both battle and ideologically, they surrender and leave just like that. Can we prove that anyone has ever reached paradise? The Paradise Paradox is the question we started off with on this adventure. A silly and ridiculous notion that no one can ever prove that paradise exists, based on the logic that if someone was to reach such a place, they would have no need to return and tell everyone about it. Our answer to the paradox is a simple one. Does it exist? Of course, yeah, of course it does. How do you know? Simple. I have faith that it does. Redemption is a core aspect to the teachings of Christ, along with many others, of course. The idea that no matter what your background is, your previous actions, or your misdeeds and misbegottens you have committed, through him you will be saved, redeemed and loved, because that is what you and what all peoples deserve, that everyone deserves a second chance. As many second chances as it takes even. But on the other side of redemption is forgiveness. To forgive someone who perpetrated ill against you, we are taught through Christ to always believe the wrong. We are taught through Christ to always forgive the wrongdoings of others, so that you may one day be able to with open arms greet them and accept them as any brother or sister. Sometimes it may be easy, sometimes it may be hard. Very hard. How do you forgive the unforgivable, the cruel, and the unjust? It's simple. By forgiving them anyway. This section may be a little different from the previous summarization of the plot, narrative, and themes of Blue Archive. Instead, I want to talk about something near and dear. Blue Archive up until this point has been good, great even. Hifumi's speech, fucking legendary. But I don't think anything has ever affected me as deeply and emotionally as Mika's redemption in a long time. The story of Chapter 4, Volume 3 ties up a lot of loose ends from the previous parts. Our squad, Sayuri, Hiyori, and Misagi, are frankly in trouble, a lot of trouble. They are unable to return home to the Irish school. And Atsuko, their dear friend, has been taken from them. to be sacrificed for the selfish whims of Gematria's Beatrice, the hidden ruler of Auris, who regularly abuses the students for her own personal gain. They have nowhere to go, no one to turn to but Sensei, but us. And it's a tall order. They launched a missile at our friends, shot us, left us for dead. It caused so much damage and destruction in the name of hatred. Really, they don't deserve help. But Sensei is a teacher, and they're students. It's the right thing to do, to forgive these troubled kids and help them. Sometimes you don't really need any other reason. Mika is in a lot of trouble. Her betrayal of Trinity has not been forgotten, siding with Auris and attempting to murder both Seiya and Nagisa. She must be held accountable. Facing expulsion and after her run-in with the radicals and refusing to join them, she is truly alone in Trinity. Students protest her, break into her dorm, and even burn down all her stuff in a big bonfire. Insults like witch and traitor are said as her name is spat on. It's not looking good. But as long as she gets the forgiveness of her friends, Seiya and Nagisa, this should be all fine. It should be all right. Right? Unfortunately, business comes first before forgiveness. Mika is left by the wayside so we can help Sayori and the rest of squad rescue Atsuko. And with the shoutings of students to burn the witch and what looks like second chances going out the window after being lied to, manipulated, and betrayed, Mika finally snaps. All she ever wanted to do was to reconcile Trinity and Auris' hatred, but Squad took advantage of her naivety, her inability to play the political games, because she's just not that type of person. Just a naive girl in a world full of terrible adults. It's not her fault. No, it's Sayori's. She simply couldn't handle all the horrible shit that was going on earlier, so she coped by pretending to be the villain. She never wanted to hurt Seiya or Nagisa, but it's too late now. Quite possibly the single most powerful student in all of Kivodos has finally snapped. She breaks out of jail with her own bare hands and tears a path straight to Sayori. After chasing Sayori and the rest of the squad deep into the Auris district and having Sayori at the barrel of a gun, all Mika needs to do is finish the job. But she can't. She realizes that Sayori and her aren't so different. They are both damned souls wanting happiness. She prayed for mercy. She knows she's messed up. And no one hates her more than herself for that mistake. But prayer after prayer and nothing. She lost her friends, home, everything. Second chance after second chance gone by things outside of her control. And is that fair? For one mistake to ruin someone's life, tossing everything away in a self-destructive streak because you know you've messed up, but now so much is out of your control and everything's spiraling away from you. At some point you got left behind, and now your own self-destruction is the only thing you can control. Mika's not very smart. All brawn, no brain. She's childish and carefree. Because of that, she got in way over her head, and bad things happened. And now her life is ruined, maybe even over. But no one deserves something like that. Everyone deserves a second chance. I deserve a second chance. We all do. Everyone deserves as many chances as it takes. I realized something about myself, found myself relating to a character in a way I haven't been able to before with other characters. I find myself relating heavily relating to characters like Poon and Tomoya. But I found a part of me that I didn't know existed before. Because of that, Mika became a character that means a lot to me. I've cried at work just thinking about her arc and what it means, how to be redeemed and how to forgive yourself. But she hasn't forgiven herself once. She hasn't forgiven herself just yet. Once Sensei comes running back to her after her fight with Sayori, she goes on a suicidal last stand to protect everyone, thinking she doesn't deserve forgiveness and redemption while she sings along the song Kyrie Eleison. Kyrie Eleison, may the Lord have mercy. As she battles an infinite amount of foes, all so others can find the happy ending she doesn't deserve. I'm not a very smart guy. There's a lot of things I don't really understand about me. I try to be big and strong, but there always feels like a million different things outside of my control. I've done things in my own past I'm not proud of. I've hurt others I shouldn't have. I didn't act where I should have. And things that will probably stick with me for the rest of my life, I'm afraid. I can't help but see myself in a million different ways reflected back in her. And I want to be forgiven, to be redeemed. I realized something going through this chapter. Sensei, despite supposedly being a self-insert, and other fans insisting that you are Sensei, I realize that I am not him. I look in the mirror and see the person I am, flaws and all. While Sensei, the self-insert, has evolved past that of someone to pretend to be, but instead a goal to be. Someone who always forgives, loves everyone, willing to stick up for those who can't, and someone who will always be there for others. Someone I'm afraid I'm not. But I'm trying.